not listening.
Really?
For the 8th pick?
Really?
Interesting how the
I just listen. Derek White is not on the unlistenable list.
Probably true. Nick Swisher joins us to talk about Ohtani versus Aaron Judge, who is currently the best player in baseball. Who is the current,
The boat?
But right now. Moving on a tier. I just couldn't figure it out. In the Dean's Office of Tight End University, an elite group of NBA scouts, analysts, and trade machine mechanics fought and toiled and burned the midnight oil to deliver the best segment in all of sports. It's time now for a way too early look at NBA tiers.
Real quick, if I may, speaking of trade machines, did you guys see the reporting of exactly what Minnesota offered for Kevin Durant?
No.
It was Gobert, DiVincenzo, Dillingham, and 1 pick. The trade we had on this show was that exact thing minus the pick. I'm just telling you guys right now, trade machine stuff, this is your show.
I would have taken that.
GMs are on those trade machines.
Exactly right. GMs are watching our YouTube page. No, I think they would have as well, but Katie was, didn't want to go there. That seemed like seems like a better return maybe than one they got from UC.
Yeah.
All right, way too early, 2026 tiers, bottom tiers, Summer League. And by that I mean maybe the most interesting part of your guys' upcoming season is going to be in a few weeks in Vegas where you get to see your young guys play. Nets got 5 by the way, the Nets 5 first-round picks is an odd thing. The Jazz talking about, I understand Danny Ainge and his carefully vetted search for his, protege, his son.
That's a coincidence.
Where's all the Bronny outrage on that one, folks?
Thank you.
And also, congrats to Nicholas Kerr for his new job with the Golden State Warriors. The Jazz might trade Walker Kessler. He's young and good. Like, if you're rebuilding, isn't the young and good guys? One of these teams, by the way, might get Ace Bailey.
It's about time for Danny to
do something.
Yeah.
All right, here's the next group. What is the plan? So I just don't really understand what these teams' plans are. Like, the Heat didn't want to offer anybody for Kevin Durant. Odd. Now, maybe it's because they're trying to keep the assets for Giannis. I don't know. The Raptors, I don't fully understand. The Pelicans are just stuck in this no man's land. The Suns, I know what they think they're going to do. The Blazers trading for Drew Holiday on a 3-year deal.
They're just trying to get in the play.
I get it, but I'm confused on the direction for most of these teams.
Yeah.
All right, weird one. Possibly frisky, just 2 teams. The southeastern region of the country. I don't hate contract year Kristaps with the Hawks. I got to tell you, I don't hate that.
They got some good pieces.
Yeah, they've got some decent pieces. And the Grizzlies are odd because it seems like, last year was totally disappointing. They're 2 games from the 2 seed, despite that, and firing their coach and all that. And Ja only played 50 games. And so now I know they lost Bane, obviously, which is substantial, but they did get pieces back, so possibly frisky. All right, these 3 teams. Looking forward to 2026. I think it's not a bad thing. I think for the Mavs, the Celtics, and the Pacers, this is all a different version of gap year is too strong for the Mavs, but what you are excited about is the season after this one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? For a full year from Kyrie plus, stars year 2 is when they can really typically start impact winning. The Celtics when you get Tatum back, the Pacers when you get Halliburton back. This year you're kind of treading water a bit, resetting some things, and then looking forward to next season. Round 2 ceiling for the Clippers, Warriors, and Pistons. I think all these teams, honestly, I don't see a huge reason to believe they're going to be substantially different next year than they were this past year. Where, yes, you can win a round, but no, I don't see a move on the horizon that makes me feel like you're about to make some significant jump. I also see no reason that you would have taken a huge step backwards, so I think round 2 ceiling. All right, these 2 teams, maybe controversial having this high, but they're the X factors. And that is the Spurs and the Sixers. Because they have two guys who are 7-2 and 7-5 respectively, who if they play a full season, and if they are the version that we all think they can be, either one of those teams can contend. You know, the Sixers because of the conference, you know, in large part, and the Spurs because they're going to have Dylan Harper, they have Castle, they have Fox, they have Wemby there. Like, that's a real team.
That's a lot of trade fodder.
Well, that's the other thing. Like, if Giannis does come available or someone else, they are the X Factor teams. Now, also, these teams could be right back in the lottery again. You know, I don't know what the Sixers, what we're going to get from Embiid, and I honestly don't know what we're going to get from Wemby. Next group, 4 Eastern Conference teams sitting right there. And by that, I mean a trip to the finals is sitting right there, guys. And I'm including the Bucks in that out of nothing but blind respect for Giannis. He is so... Who is the second best healthy player in the Eastern Conference? It's Jalen.
Probably or Donovan.
Jalen or Donovan, which, with respect to those two players, the gap between Giannis and prime Giannis was what he have, and Jalen or Donovan is a pretty substantial one. Now, I don't expect the Bucks to win the East, but those are the teams you're contending with, Milwaukee. And Dame thinks he'll be back. Like, he's not missing the whole year. I don't know if I think that, but I know he thinks that. A trip to the finals is sitting right there for one of those 4 teams. Need another piece. I think all 3 of these teams could make the finals if they make one substantial addition. For the Lakers, we know what it needs to be. It needs to be a guy, as Brew used to say with the Warriors, a guy who's 7 feet tall who can walk and chew gum at the same time. But they need they need a big man. The Nuggets need, in my opinion, another versatile wing that they can trust in the postseason. And this is maybe bad television, I apologize. I don't know what I think the Timberwolves need, but I know they need something. I know that just running it back the same group, I would not expect them to all of a sudden, you know what I mean, climb over the Western Conference. So just one other significant piece.
I don't know what they need either.
Right, but it feels like they need something, right? Like,
I just run it back.
I don't think you can just run it back.
Sure.
Yeah, and so the number 1 contenders, the Houston Rockets.
Wow, we're back. 2 seeds.
I know exactly what they needed, and they got it. They needed a guy you could trust in the final 5 minutes of a playoff game to get you a bucket. And I understand they did not get prime Kevin Durant. They didn't need prime Kevin Durant. What they had in that, he is replacing a guy who last year was a poor man's Jordan Poole. So whatever version of Kevin Durant they're getting is going to be a massive upgrade. They are still sitting on a 9-deep roster, and I'm a Reed Shepherd believer. And so, and I also think in the playoffs, they unlocked a bit of weight. The Şengün, Steven Adams 2 big lineup, which, by the way, everybody, you know what these crazy 2 big lineups used to be? We just have a power forward in the center.
Right.
It's not fancy and new. It's how basketball was played forever.
Yep.
That can work. And then, of course, atop the tiers, the champs. They're just going to bring everybody back, and everybody but Caruso is so young, they have to pay an extra charge when they rent a car. So I think they're all going to be a little bit better. That is the way too early 26 tiers.
You consistently save your tiers with the titles.
Well, that's Marshall.
The titles are good.
Thank you.
The way the teams are placed is a little, but the titles always work.
Drew.
I'm going to move. I got a couple things to say. As you know.
Wow, Shaq.
Minnesota up alongside Houston.
Really?
And look.
Sure.
Julius Randle can be a free agent. He's got a player option. They have to bring him back unless they make some type of trade. But I think if they bring him back, this is why I disagree with you guys. Now, I think they should be looking for a move. After what Houston did, they should be looking for some type of move. But let's say they can't make anything significant. I do think they can bring this team back and be better. Ant is going to keep getting better. All right, I just think these playoff disappointments, and I think not just losing, but the way he performed in 2 years ago in the conference finals, this year in the conference, I think he has to be looking in the mirror like, man, I gotta get better and I can do better. So I think he's going to improve. I think Randall being there for a second year will be more comfortable. They found something clearly once he came back from injury, so I think that'll be better. I love DiVincenzo if they can keep him. You obviously have the size. Now, Nicole Alexander-Walker, they got to keep
probably
him.
gone.
Yeah, I'd like
he and Nas
I'd love
Reed,
to keep him back,
you
but he
probably
might
can only keep one.
and I'd keep Nas. So,
Yes.
but I just think that they are one of those teams, as I like to say, taking their lumps, and next year could be the year that they get over the top. So I put them right there with the Rockets. And then, since there's a space left, I'm moving, Nick, the Knicks and the Cavs up alongside the Lakers and the Nuggets, because I think they are right now. They are the two best teams in the East. But I do like Orlando. I'm not nearly as high on Milwaukee as you are, but I like Orlando a lot.
Okay.
And then it's all yours.
Go ahead.
I'm going to move. Can I see the full list again? Because I don't know where to put this team, and if I don't put them somewhere, you yell at me. I have a great spot.
One of the things I'm working on.
I have a great spot. Possibly Frisky for the Nets.
Wait, what?
Possibly.
See, he is.
So possibly yes, possibly not. Frisky. She's like, oh,
Why?
well, a lot of picks. 5 picks.
In the first.
I
In the
don't know
first
that that's
round.
such
So you're like, any roster they roll out there, any lineup, like that first round pick right there. Here's
The whole league, it's not the
5 first
NFL.
round
The whole league is first round picks.
Still.
Every team.
They better use those
Still,
picks
you
to
can
make
say
some
it, yeah.
moves.
So there's a lot of different mock drafts. When you got 5, you can throw a lot of just different iterations out there. Here was Kevin O'Connor's squad. Jeremiah Fears, who I like. Will Riley from. We've got 2 Illini guys. I like Kasparis, Danny Wolf, Drake Powell. So you can roll with that, or you can try to package some combo up here and make a move for Ace Bailey from Jersey. Granted, he is shrinking and losing weight. The more he gets measured and weighed, and
he was 6'10" at one point.
he was 6'10", now he's 6'7". He said he was 210. Said he gained 20 pounds of muscle, which I think he might just being a little hyperbolic there, but he weighed in at 203. So he's shrinking. That being said, do you want to do my favorite game? This will drive you crazy.
Sure.
If you had a team of, let's say, Franz Wagner, 8th pick. John Collins,
This is the dumbest.
19th.
You're just saying the best players picked at those.
Recently. I'm not going way back.
I want to hear this. All right.
Thank you.
John Collins, Franz Wagner.
How about, who do you want out of these 3 guys here? Jared Allen, Walker Kessler, or Bobby Portis?
Jared Allen.
Jared Allen, good. That's 22. Then I'm a Peyton Pritchard guy at 26. And at 27, you can have Siakam or Rudy Gobert or Cam Thomas, who's already on the team. I'm just saying, the 5 picks. It's like when I do this a little bit when I play roulette. I'll put a bunch of chips on the board, stuff that conflicts, that doesn't even make sense, and stuff that overlaps that I don't need to do. I just want to win.
That's not a bad
But that's
spot.
not.
I understand.
If it works out that way,
That's
that's
not
pretty
how
good
you
for
win.
them.
What if they, having a bunch of very good guys?
Just because they pass you chips at the end doesn't mean you won.
Yes, it does.
Not if they
won-
pass you less than you put out there.
I disagree. I 100% disagree. He's like, well, you can't run out 5 draft picks. Well, have you ever heard of the Fab 5? Legendary team, except high school to college. You do college to pros.